back to another episode of In the Library of Graphic Literature, Part 2. And here's Wallace.
Yay! With his wonderful guest host, Luna. Yay! So this is unusual, two shows in one night.
Aren't you guys lucky?
I know. I think they really are, right? So now this episode, and this is why we split into two, was some nice books, but
It's a stack.
Yeah, a stack. Now this, I mean, look at this. This now here is a stack, right? And I could have added more, but this was all I could think of. But of course, a few days ago, the late great Keith Giffen passed away, and so we decided to have a look at his legacy.
Enormous collection here.
Yeah, and I was a fan of his right from the start. Now the story that's in this is one of the story that's in this actually is actually, I do believe, his first real comic book story. I knew he did some drawings in a couple of the magazines and all that, but this included his first appearance, the first appearance of oh God, it's I knew I should have marked that. Oh, here we go. Actually, it's pretty quick. He did it was in a magazine, actually. I think it was even before I thought it was before that. I don't know, okay. It was, hang on a second. Darn. He did I know it's in here. It's basically the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon. Oh yeah, I think they. And it was in Marvel Preview number 7. Satana was the main story.
Show them. They can see that.
But the quest for the sword, right here, the sword in the stars, right there. This was the first appearance of not only Rocket Raccoon, but he was known as Rocky in this one, but of Keith Giffen. And it was, I mean, look at this. I mean, this was right from the start. This was his first big panel. I mean,
That's nice.
as soon as I seen this, it was just like, oh, this guy is good. And he got in a lot of storytelling in one page. Like, he could really cram in a lot of panels, but it still looked very cool, right? I just loved his drawing style. There was something. Now this reminds me of, like, he did take on sort of like certain aspects of creators that he liked, and I can see sort of influences in among it. But the end result is still pure Keith Giffen. So this was his first one, his first big thing, right?
Not sure if I even seen or read any of that.
Yeah. Oh, it was a very obscure issue. It's I had it, but I mean, I sold it a long time ago, and even at the comic book store, I can't remember seeing it down there. So but it was interesting that his first big appearance was also the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon. So nice way to start. He was also known for he co-created Lobo at DC, and I had a list here. Lobo, oh yeah, the third Blue Beetle, and another character that I'll show you that appears in this actually, and it was a very obscure Marvel comic, but one I loved. And I actually still have this probably over in that spinner rack. This was Marvel Premiere number 31, and then and Marvel Premiere was like a lot of new ideas being thrown up. See what you think of them. And this was one done by Keith and Bill Mantlo.
I like the flower border.
It is pretty cool, isn't it? He did. There was just, and this whole character has that sort of feel for him. I think if I drew it, I'd use a lot more flowery borders like that. But turns out he is some sort of
I can't see from the
some sort of homage genetic mutation. And I mean, this is still very early on in Keith's career, and I mean it's just like this scene where the local mob breaks into the lab, and they look and they see this glass tube filled with all this stuff, and they say, "Oh, let's smash it," and they smash it, and of course, kills them all, right? But it's a great story. Now, the character only ever appeared again, actually, in, as far as I know, there was a couple issues of Marvel Team Up, which this is in the back of. and I guess that's wired. 2 issues of that, and then I don't think we ever really see him again, which is too bad because when I was a kid, I thought this character was really cool, right? I thought he could be, this guy could be the next Swamp Thing. Oh yeah, now Defenders. This he went from there. He went to there from. No, Wood God was after this, I think. But this was the Defenders, one of my favorite comics of the 70s. It was a superhero group of strange heroes. Basically, Doctor Strange, the Hulk, and Silver Surfer, and Nighthawk. Oh, my place, yeah. Now this I actually marked that. Oh no, that wasn't the one I was marking. There's just some cool. Where is it? There was and he did actually most of the early part of this actually, and I had all these. This is one neat thing is I had all these comics when I was a kid, every single one.
Oh, look, it's your buddy.
It's Doctor Strange, my pal. Valkyrie was in it. She was a big part of it, right? But this inked by this guy Klaus Janson, who I thought was a great inker for old Keith and Klaus. But yeah, the Defenders. It was sort of it was supposed to be like a second tier Avengers type of thing. But I thought the Defenders was a cool book, and his artwork on it was just, off the scale, right? He did a great Hulk too, which is, believe it or not, I think hard to do, right? And yeah, but and there's he did a storyline, this one about Scorpio, this character from the Shield days and that. Here's a nice 2-page spread of the whole gang.
She seems pretty cool.
Yeah, that's Valkyrie. That was a new uniform for her. For longest time, she had this more Norse looking type of thing, almost like you'd see in the movie, right?
Has a Xena vibes. Xena the
Oh yeah, well,
vibe.
and in a very real way, yes. Now in this, he just did a backup in this one, but I picked it just because, besides doing a lot of major comics and all that, he did do, odd jobs here and there. And once again, I knew I should have marked where it was. It was page. Ooh. It was the was it Son of the Tigers? I think it is. The name of it was a backup feature. This was during the Kung Fu days, right? I think I did land right on it. Keith Giffen. Sons of the Tiger was about it was these 3 guys who got together, and they were basically like a kung fu trio. And then White Tiger emerged from them, and it continued on as that. And this one was pretty cool. He has Jack of Hearts, which has a really cool uniform. But look at all those panels he manages to squeeze into one page, right? But all very well done. You can tell what's going on. That's the other thing I liked him. It was always very clear what he was drawing, right? There was nothing fancy pants or nothing to be, figured out or explored at a deeper level. It's like Keith was nice and upfront.
Ooh, Batman in a coffin.
Yeah, just when you thought that heroes dying was a new thing, this goes way back. Now this, once again, Keith appears in this. Now he's not in the first couple of issues, but he comes on.
So colorful.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I love this series. I had this series. I think that was Keith. There is it? No. Oh, that's still Wally Wood. But Keith comes in, and I think Wally even inks him in a couple of them. But
so what's up with the Ankh? Why is he like?
Oh, that's Dr. Fate, right? The Ankh is his. Whatever is his sort of like symbol or whatever.
Really?
Whenever you'd see him.
Oh, they were fighting Nazis.
Oh yeah, yeah. They even go because the All-Star Comics, the Justice Society occurs back in the 30s, even though it's the 70s when this came out, right? Which was kind of cool, right? Now where's the? I'm trying to find. Oh no, I think we went past the Keith Keith Giffen issues. Where are they? They were actually more the later issues. Oh, but not as late as this.
Social Justice of America.
Da-da-da-da. No, Justice Society. Yeah, it's kind of like the Justice League, only it's another dimension's Justice League, right?
Interdimensional social justice warriors.
Yeah, in a way, yes. In a very real way. Oh, here we go. Here's the Keith Giffen stuff. But he did a great job with this series. I mean, they were all superheroes come to
I
brought
love the
back.
one with the wings, though. He's so cool.
What's that?
You should show.
Oh yeah, I'll show the people. Let's show the people.
Leave that on a T-shirt or a mug.
Oh, I would actually love to see some of this, because this was, especially this issue, he faces this villain called Vulcan. But and even though he's inked very heavily by Wallace Wood, or Woody, as he liked to be called, you can still see the inner Keith Giffen. So.
Even in frame.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, even in frame, yeah. Anyway, so it's one of my favorite, and this even at the time it was just like, oh my God, Keith Giffen is doing All Star. So I mean, and that was actually one of the main reasons I really wanted this book, was for the Keith Giffen stories. Being a Keith Giffen fan, of course, right?
I believe it.
Now this is, and it's not the Dead Man stories he does, but he does some stories that appear in this. It's because Dead Man co-stars with the Challengers, I think it is, in a series, which once again I should have. Ah, here we go. I should have bookmarked. And once again in this one too, he takes, like I say, sometimes you'll see his style seems to change. Like this one, it's become almost
cartoony.
Yeah, it's very much. To me, it's very much like another one of my favorite artists, Alex Nino. That's the Blue Beetle, the old Blue Beetle.
I was wondering what shirt you were wearing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so here's a bit of Keith.
It's kind of reminding me of the style that's on your shirt. That's
Yeah?
why I looked.
Oh, okay.
It's not random.
It's not random. No. But yeah, so I should be showing the people this, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
So he was sort of, like I say, in an Alex Nino style, which I'd forgotten about that. But he'd sort of take bits of them and incorporate it into his own style. So it kind of worked, right? You could still tell it was Keith underneath all the new fandangle drawing, right? But he's a good storyteller. He knew how to to do cool layouts where people didn't lose their way. Now one of the biggest things he was known for was his run on the Legion of Superheroes, and this was a series he did with Paul Levitz.
Oh, is this Darkseid?
Yeah, in the background there, great drawing of Darkseid.
Guys, I'm learning.
So this is what they call the Great Darkness Saga, and I love this cover too, by the way. And it was, when was this? I have it written down here in my notes here. Great Darkness Saga, 1982. And I bought these, and it was funny because even when I first bought it, it was just like, I bet you this is Darkseid. I bet you this is Darkseid, because there was a couple of clues throughout it and all that. And sure enough, it was. Anyway, it was a great few issues. How many in it? 284 to 296, and annual number 1. Now, of course, his style looks once again different when it comes to this one compared to the other one.
I love this style.
There.
Oh, it's so cool though.
Yeah, and now this is almost a right there, like this very much a Philippe Drouillet from France. He was emulating his style. And he's doing it so obviously, it's just like to me, he knew he was doing it, and it was like, here, this is my homage to that artist, right? And, but he still still kept it cool. This was some more, but like I say, his style was always evolving, which I thought was pretty good because he'd evolve with the different characters and stories. He'd draw for the story, right? So this was one of the great legion of superhero stories, and it's worth picking up. I'm not sure if this is still in print. Probably not, but one of my favorite books, and definitely one of the best Legion of Superhero stories. And then, of course, after that he goes and he tries it. Now this one is heavy, isn't it?
Oh yes, I wasn't prepared.
Now he writes this one mainly. This is Justice League. They stuck him up on Justice League.
Okay, but we're gonna need that poster over there, that wanted poster.
Why is that?
Because.
That's right.
Because you know why.
This?
Because it's just so cool. I've never seen. Where did that come from?
Oh, that?
I didn't even see that before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's not a poster. It's a
No,
book.
it's a book.
Oh, show. It looks cool.
Well, you never know what you see in the library here, right? Okay, now this is, and as you can tell, there's all kinds of superheroes in this one, and this was kind of like almost a satire comic strip. It was Justice League with Batman, Superman, Flash, all these, all the usuals. So Batman, Green Lantern, the new one, Dr. Fate, the guy with the Ankh going on, Blue Beetle.
But he's done completely different there.
Oh, well, you don't see his cape is covering his costume there, right?
Oh.
Shazam from the movies, and Martian Manhunter, Black Canary.
So the genie?
The genie? Oh, no, Shazam? No. But this is drawn by this guy McGuire. I like the art. But it is written by Keith.
That's the
right?
sound I imagined when I seen that. Is that a picture of himself?
Oh, there. No, that's...
I bet it is.
No, it's this guy, Lord. Maxwell Lord, and he becomes like sort of their sponsor and all that, and sets up the Justice League, and eventually they change it to Justice League International. But it is more of a, like I say, it's almost a satire type of strip too. It was very funny for a superhero comic, right? But it was also very well drawn. That was the other thing I liked about it, right? Oh,
there's his costume.
There he is. So yeah, great series, CCP. Oh, a little bit of Soviet Union there. So it was, there's Lobo, which he co-created. Oh my God, weighs a ton, but yeah. So Justice League, or Justice League International, as a lot of people call it.
How many comics are in that one?
Oh God, this one is, 1 to 6, 7 to 25, so 25, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 34, 40, almost 50 comics. So that is a lot. Look how thick that is. And it does weigh. It weighs a ton. I think it weighs the most of any of these books that we've been looking at tonight. Which brings us down to the very end of it.
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, there was some later works of his through the years. But I figure for this, we just picked like his highlights, right? And some of my favorites. So he goes back to the Legion of Superheroes years later. Now he's writing this and drawing it, but he's co-writing it with Tom and Mary Bierbaum, a husband-wife team I think it was, and Al Gordon, who inked him. And once again, his style changes once again here. Like this is his style there now.
I like that.
And I like, to be quite honest, this was always one of my favorite, and it tended to stay with him. It tended to be his style from then on. And I liked it. There were some people who were like, when he first started doing that, they were like, he's copying. There was another, Jose Munez, I think it was. He's copying this artist. It was just like, well, no, he was channeling him like he was channeling all those other comic book people from Drouillet to Kirby, yada yada. But this one just seemed to fit to him, I guess, what it was, right?
Oh, it's nice artwork though.
Yeah, I mean, I like. There were some other. There's some fill-in issues here. I think that's. Oh no, that's him.
Really well detailed.
But yeah. Oh. Oh, I'll go back to this. first few pages where you really get to see the simplicity of his style. And there's just something really cool to it. But the story itself too, this was Legion of Superheroes 5 years later. And when you come back, the Legion is just in tatters, right? There are people who are dead. Some of them do survive, and they sort of come back to fight off some sort of conspiracy. It's been a while now. Actually, I'm still in the middle of rereading this too. I haven't read it since I was a kid, but it was one of my favorite Legion superhero stories. And this comes in. There's 2 volumes of actually. The other volume, it actually splits later on into 2 different comics, Legionnaires and Legion of Superheroes, because as it turns out, one of the background plot lines is someone has been growing a younger Legion of Superhero in test tubes. And a bunch of clones, and they get out, but they turn out to be good, and they form sort of a younger Legion of Superheroes, like they were years ago. But it was kind of cool. It was a neat reboot. It was just like, now that's a neat way of rebooting it, right? But 5 years later, oh God, 25 years later, it's still one of my favorite, probably even more than that, still one of my favorite Keith Giffen books. And so Keith, you will be missed. And we send all our love to his friends and family and all that, and to the wider comic book community. Way to go, Keith. We loved you. Loved you big time. Anyway.
I'm just hearing about you.
Yeah. But he's pretty cool, isn't he, from what you've seen already. It's, a variety of styles across quite a few years. And I mean, there were many years of other work he did after that. These were just some of the highlights. A lot of the early stuff, which people aren't familiar with, so I figured we'll go with that, right? Mm-hmm. So we'll be back next week with just 1 episode. It's going to be strange just doing 1 episode. But this is going to be fun. We just threw the idea together at the last minute and decided to go for the 2 episodes instead of 1. Anyway, thanks for having us over, and we'll see you next week. Bye! See you later, alligators.